Have you ever considered how society balances the boundless desire for personal liberty with the necessity of living together harmoniously? It is a fascinating and fundamental question at the heart of political philosophy. The state can legitimately limit individual freedoms primarily when those freedoms directly or indirectly cause harm to others, threaten public order, or undermine the fundamental rights and freedoms of other citizens. This core principle is often rooted in the idea of a social contract, where individuals implicitly agree to certain restrictions in exchange for the benefits of a civilized society, such as security and stability. The philosophical foundation for these limits is extensively explored by thinkers like John Stuart Mill, who articulated the harm principle. This principle suggests that the only legitimate reason for society, or the state, to interfere with individual liberty is to prevent harm to others. It is not to prevent self-harm or to enforce moral codes. This means that actions that only affect the individual, even if deemed unwise or immoral by others, should remain outside the state's purview. However, determining what constitutes direct or indirect harm can be complex. For instance, reckless driving directly harms others, but even activities like excessive noise could indirectly harm the peace and quiet of a neighborhood, justifying certain regulations. Understanding these principles helps us analyze why various laws exist. For example, traffic laws, health and safety regulations, and prohibitions against violence are all justified by the harm principle and the need to maintain public order. They are not arbitrary infringements but calculated measures designed to protect the collective good and ensure that everyone can enjoy their own freedoms without undue interference from others. This transition from abstract philosophy to concrete policy demonstrates how theoretical frameworks guide practical governance. A key concept here is the distinction between negative and positive liberty. Negative liberty refers to freedom from external interference, while positive liberty relates to the capacity to act on one's free will, often requiring state intervention to provide opportunities or resources. The challenge for states is to navigate this complex interplay, ensuring that limitations on negative liberty are minimal and only serve to protect the greater framework of freedoms for all. This delicate balance prevents both anarchy and authoritarianism, recognizing that true freedom flourishes within a structured, just environment. Ultimately, the state's capacity to limit individual freedoms is a carefully constrained power, justified not by mere authority, but by a foundational commitment to mutual protection and the creation of a just, stable, and flourishing society. It is about ensuring that the pursuit of individual liberty does not inadvertently diminish the liberty or well-being of others, thereby upholding the very promise of collective coexistence.